Well, we're going to begin this afternoon with that chilling new testimony in the critical hearing for the admitted Oxford High School shooter. Thank you for joining us today for 7 Action News at 5. I'm Glenda Lewis. Ethan Crumbley sat in court as a judge, heard the evidence against him, and will use that to determine if the teen will be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. We do have team coverage for you tonight. Simon Shaquette was in court hearing the emotional testimony on the stand. But we're going to begin with 7 investigator Ross Jones breaking down exactly what happened today. Ross.
Glenda, good afternoon. In more than 6 hours of testimony, we heard from first responders, from victims, and even from Ethan Crumbley. And in excruciating detail, the Oakland County prosecutor built her case for why he should never leave a prison cell.
At that point, I had sent my husband a text message that just said, "I love you, active shooter."
We knew what Ethan Crumbley did, but today, before an Oakland County judge, we heard how and why. In a hearing that lasted all day, witness after witness detailed the carnage of November 30th, 2021. Teacher Molly Darnell described locking eyes with Crumbley before he shot her.
I heard 3 very loud, they're physically loud, like I could feel them coming through that door.
Ed Wagrowski is a detective with the Oakland County Sheriff and was one of the first on the scene.
I remember seeing parents just standing there talking, hoping their kid.
Parents were looking for their children?
Yes, excuse me. Yeah, hoping that their kid got off the school buses that pulled up.
A lieutenant described the anguish of first responders having to walk past students pleading for help because Crumbley was still at large.
How do you push past a child that needs help?
Prosecutors revealed images of bullet holes in the hallways and in classroom doors. We saw Crumbley's backpack and journal strewn on the bathroom floor. This is where he prepared in the moments before opening fire. And prosecutors showed this sketch drawn by Crumbley before the shooting of a girl with a gun pointed to her head. He wrote, "The first victim has to be a pretty girl with a future so she can suffer just like me."
My name is Ethan Crumbley, aged 15, and I'm going to be the next school shooter.
Prosecutors played a recording that Crumbley made the night before the school shooting, a rambling 10-plus minutes where the young man promised to open fire on his classmates. Prosecutors would play surveillance video from the next day, video we will not broadcast. You don't need to see it to understand the horror. That was clear from the faces of the victims' parents watching in agony.
This is an offense unlike any other in this country or state has ever seen. Not just the number of children who died, but the way the defendant killed them, the amount of research and planning and preparation that went into it, and the way he carried it out, the picking and choosing of who would die.
Crumbley's attorneys said they will show that their client is not irreparably corrupt and should be sentenced to years, but not a lifetime in prison. They will have an opportunity to call their own witnesses as the hearing continues tomorrow, beginning at 8:30 a.m. We're live at the newsroom. I'm Ross Jones, 7 Action News.
The possible selection of victims, just stunning and chilling, Ross. Thank you so much for your update.